Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Alden, and I'm here with my mother, and we're going to share with you some music today. What I'd like to talk about is improvisation, and it's something that I have grown up with my entire life, living in a musical family, and it's something that I think that you guys would really enjoy doing. So, a little bit about improv. Basically, you can improvise anything. You can improvise harmonies, you can do a bass line. There's a bunch of different ways that you can start. So today we're going to start with a bass line. So my mom is going to play a bass line for you to listen to. And then she's going to build chords on top of that bass line. And that's kind of the foundation of what music is built on, is chords. As an orchestra with stringed instruments, we usually play only one note. Each section only plays one note at a time, usually, unless you're playing double stops or something. But as an orchestra, each part, the cello, the violin, the bass, the viola, they create the chords in the music. So when it comes to improvisation, you're just using the chords, whatever key you've decided to play in. We're going to play in the key of G. So we're going to start in that key, and then later on we're going to show you a couple other songs, and I'm just going to fiddle around with the cello in that key. You know your scale, your G scale, so you know what notes you have, and sometimes you can go in and out of a key, modulate, which is also fun to do, to throw a little pizzazz in there. So right now my mom is going to play the bass line first. She's going to play it through twice, and then she's going to add the chords to it so you can hear what that sounds like.
G, E minor, C, D.
So as you could hear a little bit, I was using the G scale. I was using the G scale, and all of the notes in the G scale were fair game because we were in the key of G. Occasionally I would miss a note, which happens when you're improvising, and I would play a note out of the key, which is totally fine. It happens all the time. The more you practice at it, the easier it'll come. But yeah, so I was basically, if you recognize that song. Heart and soul. So yeah, so I had a little bit of that going on in there. And we started out in kind of like a 50s, like a da 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 da, and then in the end we changed to more of like a classical, pretty da 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 da. So anyway, there's lots of different things that you can do. That's just a simple chord progression example in the key of G. A great harmony to start with when you're working on improvising with somebody is pick the third. So if you have a melody, Mary Had a Little Lamb, would be a good harmony to go along with that. And you'll hear me using the third of the chord a lot to make harmony. Where I personally have had a lot of experience improvising is at church. So we usually are given a chord chart, and that's what guitars read from, and some keyboard pianists read from chord charts as well. So if you're given a chord chart, it's basically going to have the key the song is written in, and then over the words of the song, there's going to be chords. So it's going to like say C, G, D, and you're going to have to know, okay, in a C chord, you have C, E, G. Those are the three notes in a C major chord. So if you know that all three of those notes are in a C chord, whenever you see a C written over a note, then you know like, oh, I can play a C, I can play an E, or I can play a G. And of course you can do passing tones. Passing tones are basically the notes in between the notes that are in a chord. So passing tones are the things that you can fiddle around with when you're doing a scale. When you do an arpeggio, that's usually a chord. And then all the notes that are in between the arpeggio are the passing tones when we're talking about chord structure. So that's kind of just a little bit of how you can think about it. So for this song, we're going to be in the key of C. There's some modulation, so there's some accidentals that are going to happen, like an F sharp and a G sharp. But yeah, we're just going to fiddle around with it, and I'm going to improvise some harmonies over the top, and I might go onto the melody a little bit, but we'll see what happens, because it's all made up in the moment. So yeah, so that's just an example of how you can improvise a little bit over a piece. That was a little bit more complicated because of the modulation, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's a super fun song. So the final two pieces that we're going to do for you are in the key of G. So if you know the key you're in and you know all the notes that are in the scale, improvising is just the next step for how you would play along with people when it's a song that you either know, or sometimes if you don't even know the song and you're improvising, just to mess around and have fun with it. Yes, there's going to be mistakes. It happens all the time. It's part of the improv journey. And the more often that you get to improvise with people, or even try playing against something that you've created yourself, the better you'll get at it. So it's a super fun exercise to try, and I hope you enjoy. I keep forgetting to smile, so I feel really boring.
Take
Take 20.
15. Oh my God.
All right, take 500.